Hello, my crafty friends. Well, today I have a fun fold card idea that I want to share with you. And this little fun fold is called a Faux Step Card. And I'll show you how to make the card, and you can really decorate this any way you want. Hi, it's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this episode of Stamptastic TV, I have two different autumn-themed card ideas that I want to share with you that feature this step fun fold card. It's like a faux step. So we're going to put in this false step here, and we're going to create this fun fold card. Now, the cards in this video feature the Amber Autumn bundle from Stampin Up. So this particular bundle includes a stamp set, and it has a coordinating die set. And of course, I'm using some of the coordinating designer series paper from this particular suite. So this is called the Autumn Toile Suite, and you can find it in the Stampin Up Holiday Mini Catalog. However, keep in mind you can use any supplies you have on hand with this fun fold card. All right, so I am going to show you how to make this fun fold card. It might look a bit complicated, but once I walk you through the process, you're going to be pleasantly surprised at how easy it is to create this fun fold card. So this fun fold card does stand for display, and it of course folds flat for mailing as well. It is not an A2 size card, so it is about 4 1/4 inches wide and about 4 1/2 inches tall. So let me show you how to put this card together. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is choose whatever cardstock color that you're going to use for the base of your card. Of course, I'm coordinating mine with my autumn themed cards. So this piece is a 4 1/4 by 9 inch piece, and I'm using early espresso cardstock. And basically you're going to score it. You're going to score down this 9 inch side, and you're going to score it at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, and 5 3/4 inches. And then you're just going to basically accordion fold these so that you end up with a fold that looks like this. So this is what it looks like flat, and then this is kind of the side view. So this is where you're going to create your little step. You'll have this little faux step here in the front. And then the second piece that goes with this fun fold card is just a 2 1/2 by 9 inch piece. And then you just score it in the middle at 4 1/2 inches to create this top panel. All right, so now that we have these two pieces, we're ready to put this fun fold card together. However, before we do that, I do recommend adding whatever pattern paper you want to add behind here. So when we put the card together, this piece will go over the top. So if you want anything behind here, whether pattern paper, maybe some embossed paper, I would highly recommend putting that on now before we put that step, that front fold on. So I just have a 4 1/8 by 3 1/8 inch piece of pattern paper. So I'm just going to put it on this little section here, right in the middle. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece, and this is going to get adhered to the front and to the back of this step card here. So it'll get adhered to this front panel, and then this back piece will get adhered to the back panel. So you just want to kind of scoot it into place. And then we're just going to add some glue on this bottom front panel. So we'll just add some right across here, and we'll just push that down, and we'll stand this up to make sure it's still in place. And then we'll just flip this over and just add some to this back panel. So basically you want to stay in between this 2 1/2 inch section when you're adding this glue. So we'll just add some there, and then we can push that down. All right, so that's basically all there is to it, to putting this card together, and you just got to give it a second to set up. And then you'll have your little fun fold. And now you can finish decorating this any way that you want. So let's go ahead and add some paper to the outside. So this is just a 2 3/8 by 3 3/4 inch piece of pattern paper. So I'm going to add this to this front piece. The next thing I did is just cut a 4 1/8 by 1 1/8 inch piece. And I'm using the same paper that I put on the inside here. And this is just going to cover up everything down here on the bottom. So it's going to cover up where you adhered that front flap, this flap. And it'll just provide a nice way to kind of finish off the front part of the card. So that's what the front part looks like. And then you can flip it over and we'll cover up this piece on the back. So I just have a 4 1/8 by 3 1/8 inch piece of pattern paper. And we'll just put this right over the top. And so that will cover up the back part of the card where this flap was adhered to the card base. So that just kind of finishes it off really nicely. And you can see this is what it looks like. So that is the step. That's how you create that step. And then on the inside, I just put another 4 1/8 by 3 1/8 inch piece of very vanilla cardstock. Just put that on the inside here so that you can stamp a message or write a message. So I'm basically just alternating the papers that I'm using. So this is the same piece, the same design that I used for the front here. So again, the measurements are the same. So it's 4 1/8 and 3 1/8. That's what this piece is going to be. So we'll just add that to the inside. And then this is the 4 1/8 by 1 1/8. And then we'll just add that up here. So you can add really as much or as little of the designer paper as you want to. So that's what the inside will look like. So to decorate the front, I just stamped one of the images. I wanted to keep it real plain, so I didn't color in the image. I just kind of left it in the early espresso. And then I added a little greeting. I put a little bit of this linen thread on here, and we'll just pop this up right on the front of the card. And then, of course, you can add any embellishments you want. I'm just going to add a couple of these little dots here. And that is basically how you create the card and decorate it. So it's just kind of a fun way to use your pattern paper and create this cute little fun fold card. So that's one design. And then if you really want to get fancy, you can add a couple different layers. So for this particular card, I added a couple different layers of cardstock. So I started with the Cajun and then added a layer of early espresso and then added the designer paper. So there's lots of different ways that you can use this fun fold in your card making. Okay, so there you go. Now you have a fun fold card idea that you can use to create cards for any occasion. And if you enjoyed these card ideas, feel free to download the printable tutorial. You can find the link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave me a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the cards shared here today. Have a fun and creative day, my friends. Take care.